not too long ago, there's a post in Reddit about the popularity chart of gacha games at AnimeCon in China. And a lot of these shows that some Hoyo games, Honkai Impact, Honkai Star Rail, Zenless Zero, Genshin Impact out there with a lot of... Now let me tell you like what these red dots means, what these black dots means. The red dots means that they like the game, and the black dots are actually just them disliking the game or just hate in general, because you will see like some games out here are filled covered with black dots. Now this person stated right here, covered up games in image 3 and 7 are Snowbreak, Honor of Kings, and Reverse 1999. Now let's go to 3 and 7 first. 3, and I suppose this is and this is Snowbreak. SB stands for Snowbreak, okay. Honor of Kings, the other one is Reverse 1999. Yeah, it's stated right here 1999. That is so funny because I thought Reverse 1999 actually have like such great art styles, and they even have game collabs with Ubisoft, I believe. I know Ubisoft is not very likable in many areas, but Ubisoft is still like the Assassin's Creed collab was pretty hype, wasn't it? And I thought people liked it. But let's look into the important games up here, okay? Honkai Star Rail, a little bit of black dots here and there, but it's mostly covered with red dots, so a lot of people liking it. Honkai Impact 3rd, covered with red dots. People that plays it, they like it. Same goes to Zenless Zero. I'm a fan of Zenless Zero. I think that those who stayed for the game, they played the game, they were bound to like the game actually. The gameplay isn't bad, like they clearly care for the game. The amount of rewards they return to the player base is quite nice. Throughout my time, there hasn't been any complaints towards how Zenless Zero reward their player base. And then right here, there is Genshin Impact. They actually put Genshin Impact side by side with Wuthering Waves. I find that so funny. It's like whoever is in charge of this, they purposely trying to create a tribalism war here. But it's kind of funny, you know? The player base in Genshin Impact is obviously more than Wuthering Waves can ever have, and that's fine, that's normal. I think Genshin Impact, due to the pandemic, they have gained a lot of players, and these players, they're bound to commit themselves into playing in such a long term. Genshin Impact is one of those things that you're kind of married to the game. I myself also have played Genshin Impact for like 5 years, 5 to 6 years, because Wuthering Waves came, I had to stop to install another game, right? It's one of those. So Wuthering Waves is still somewhat, I would say, quite new and haven't gained that much players as much as Genshin Impact have. Hey, so it's been a while since I last do this. Go to social medias, go to Reddit, Twitter, and check if people say anything that is kind of interesting here and there, and maybe talk about it, maybe into a topic, and discuss it with you guys to see if you would agree to my takes or not. And if you don't, leave it in the comments below. But without further ado, let's get into the video. And if you end up enjoying it, consider liking and subscribe to the channel. Let Me Solo Her played Wuthering Waves. Now, I'm not that big of a fan of Elden Ring.
Shut it.
I know this guy made a lot of Elden Ring content. That's what his content is involved in. But the person is very much known as a Souls-like player. But this is what I'm thinking. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Ongbal... Now, I've been a Sekiro player myself. I've played Sekiro for years. I tried to master the parry, the timing, and everything. I've played Sekiro for the longest time possible. Probably the longest game I've played. And Ongbal was one of my favorite. Obviously, he stopped playing Sekiro too much now. Like the last video that I watched is probably... The last video I watched was 5 months ago. Yeah, that long. They did made like Sekiro vs Mesmer. I believe Nameless King is like a Dark Souls boss, one of Dark Souls boss. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Ongba were to start playing Hiyuki just to parry messing around like that, because Hiyuki have this cool parry mechanic, and I'm not slightly surprised when a Souls-like player decide to just jump into Wuthering Waves, testing out Zani, testing out Hiyuki. Characters like these would be a perfect marketing, allowing Souls-like players to test out Wuthering Waves. Okay, let's get into something a bit more controversial here. Now, before I start saying anything, I want you guys to know, like, I'm very confused in my like relationship with AI. First off, I'm also an artist myself. I've drawn for my whole life. I've worked in an animation company as well for months, and then I quit because it got a little bit too depressing for me to be there. And here's the thing, like, my take towards AI have always been like, I'm against it very much. But I'm also very aware that in the future, we will see more and more companies start to use it, and everything will be normalized through there. And to me, this is where it originates from Reddit. I saw like a bunch of pictures like, oh yeah, they used Tenkidoko, the Wuthering With You anime from Makoto Shinkai, and turn it into a background piece in Neverness to Everness in NTE. And when I first saw this, I thought like, yeah, to to be expected, I guess. This is not the first time I see it. A game called Crimson Desert also used assets from AI as well for their background, for example, paintings and such. And Crimson Desert, they got a lot of backlash, but at the end of the day, the game still worked out for them, right? They still made their money worth and everything. And this whole anti-AI backlash towards Crimson Desert really didn't do all that much. They did try to replace the AI assets into real artwork piece by actual artists. And because of that, people started to think like, okay, this could just be a placeholder for now. Wait until the game made their money and all that stuff. And then they will just replace it with actual animations, with actual artwork, and everybody will move on afterwards, right? Obviously, not everybody is gonna just accept it, seeing this fully, like call me old-fashioned, but if you use Gen AI for your games, I suddenly have zero desire to ever play it. And a lot of people do feel this way. A lot of people actually feel like quitting the game here and there. And here you will see like the one of the most infamous scene in NTE. They're trying to introduce one of the character, and I guess this is one of the character, like the boss of the company. I don't know, I don't play the game. But this is very much clearly AI generated. Everything in this whole animation is AI generated. Like right there you see the cat start to show like smudge of what AI gen actually do. And now some people are trying to say that there's also like, you guys don't know anything about animations. This could be smear animations. Like, I get it. I understand that I studied animation myself, but this is really not normal. And I know like you've seen animes like Naruto, for example, right? With the stylistic choice of the face being stretched out to create a more impactful animation. It's smear animation, I get that. But this is not normal. Like the expression of the cat also changed for no reason. That is not normal for animators to do. And you can also see like the finger right here is like there's some shade to it, but the other fingers do not have any shades. They're very noticeable that is AI. I cannot say that enough. And that the mouth of this character right here is not even sync from what they're saying. Like, so yeah, I find it hard to accept that a finalized game use AI for their finishing product. I think my take on AI is very complicated nowadays because I know that everybody will start using AI and companies are fully accepting AI as well for them to cut costs basically. And so I do think like it's better for them to try and use AI to merely just find concepts. I think that's fine because you want to generate a lot of characters design, for example, and I know that you will also have to rework all of them again. So it's like everybody get to keep their jobs in a way that they still have to do certain parts of their jobs. It's not just generating and then moving it right away to animation. No, it's not gonna be like that. But NTE is doing exactly that. This is clearly AI, and if the finishing product is AI, 100% the concept art for this whole piece and this character's design right here is definitely 100% again AI. Like there's no way you would not do that. If the finishing product is AI, then the concept art, the design of this character is AI. Now here's a tweet that actually got viral. It got posted everywhere basically, and I'm gonna mute this, okay? It's not about the voice, but there is some moments where I find it kind of obvious. When I see this smoke, for example, I don't think any animators also did that actually. I do find like parts of these scenes are AI generated, just a bit of it, because at the end here, like there is some momentarily like actual animation work like that. For example, I do think I do find like this sword play right here is still very difficult for AI to do right there. Okay, I don't think that is AI, but there are moments when like they're jumping around. I find it like it is so unnatural and very awkward movement. There's also some smudge that I find it. Do people actually do this? Do people actually put this much effects from just sword clashing? I don't think it's normal as well, because if you were to work on something like an action scene, you don't want it to be covered full of special effects. Like this is covered in a very odd way. You can tell like everything is covered. It's a bit odd, the choice of them doing this. And there is some scenes like right here, this person said the error. No, it's not really error. It's a bit of an odd choice if a person decided to do this, but it would make sense if AI were to make this movement of this sword is going right past the girl already, the person that they're fighting. So the guy missed the main character missed hitting the woman here, and the woman that the MC is fighting just passed through the sword, I guess. Look, it's very obvious that it's AI, right? And this here is Ironmouse saying that she basically dropped Neverness to Everness sponsorship after the developers lied to her about not using generative AI. And this is what she has to say.
My people,
It
that there's
literally
no
has scenes
AI
from
in it.
Wuthering with you on a big
Yeah,
TV
she basically said that her team was told that NTE wasn't going to use AI, generative AI to be
in the city
specific.
with an AI filter.
Because here's the thing, like people don't seem to understand there's like very different types of AI. Some AI is being accepted, like how people model the character, the rigging animation and all that stuff is being used with AI. It's being used AI for the longest time already. Okay, that is a very different types of AI. Gen AI, on the other hand, is just you are missing the whole point of actually doing artwork, an art piece, understanding the whole process of it. The whole line work that you did, you are missing the whole creative part of making an artwork. You have to understand every single lines means something to these artists, but you just generate it in one go. Which is why it's very difficult to accept Gen AI as a whole.
An AI filter over it. It's not even a whoops, we forgot to take out the temp assets. It's theft, and they keep lying. Feel sorry for
Now
anyone
that's
that was
the
involved
comment saying
without
that
knowing.
it's theft. Look, I completely agree because it's blatantly just using the finalized artwork into your finalized product. I feel like if you use it as a temporary assets, it's fine, like a placeholder, and then maybe let people know. I think they should try to make this public actually and mention that this is only a placeholder, we will try to do better in 1.1. I feel like this is very necessary for them to do because not many global players are actually happily accepting this situation, and we will get into that part a bit more.
About
It's
this
so
or having
crazy.
already signed contracts without being able to back out.
Bro, I would have never known until I didn't know until I saw that thing on Twitter after the stream. I guess like since I did it, I got
Yeah,
pushed.
she wouldn't.
Like a lot of
She
stuff got
would
pushed
not
me.
have accepted it if the devs would have let her team know that they are going to be using generative AI. And I'm saying this specifically generative AI, not AI, just generative AI, because it is blatantly theft.
And people also added me with stuff, so I saw it and I'm like, what the fuck, bro? And they told my sponsor people. They told my sponsor people, they said no. They said we do not have AI in anything. There's no AI anywhere. And it's just like, why are you fucking lying, bro?
Yeah, so that's what she was told. So that's why she find it. This is like, I feel betrayed. Okay, I feel betrayed. You lied to me, basically, right? So I respect her choice, and I think it's very fair for her to drop the sponsorship because they lied to her face. They lied to her team's face. Now, this is a recent tweet from the NTE. I don't think it's the NTE official, but it is like an NTE community database, all that stuff. And as of now, this is the closest that we can get. I do not want to read all of this for you guys, but I will read the last part because I think it should mean something for you guys. Like, you can take your time to read this, but here's what I want to show. The situation is delicate. While the issue originated in Asia and was actually received fairly positive there, I do not know how to feel about that already, okay? It has now escalated to the point where forums in China and Japan are discussing the controversy being stirred up by the West over that many consider to be minor issues. They see it as minor issues. Look, I'll be completely honest with you guys, okay? I live in Malaysia. I know that people in Asia is very accepting of AI. They all use it. All my friends have used AI as well. Gen AI, to be specific. Hell, even job applications now requires you to have experience in generative AI or understanding in AI in general. It gets very difficult to go against AI, especially when the world surrounding you goes against you. So what do you do when everything goes against you? I guess you just kind of have to adapt to it. Should you stop playing the game just because it uses something that you dislike, but the game still is kind of enjoyable to you? Until you realize someone in the internet decided to say that this game uses AI and you just stop enjoying it. I don't think that makes sense as well. If you enjoyed it, I think you should just continue playing it. Unless you really have that moral high ground that you are just very, very against AI, and that is enough for you to just stop playing the game. I also think that is fair. But let's look into the comments real quick. Quick question though, NTE. How much did it cost to make NTE as a whole? Because I get it if you have to use AI, if you have on a limited budget. But if you have more than enough, it's just laziness then. Either way, obviously the devs are going to use AI to scan and fix the bugs. Now, I'm giving a little bit of a leeway for now because I think nobody wants animation, generative AI to be in their final finished product. I don't think that is ethical. I do believe that they are currently using it only as a placeholder. I think it's just a bad rap, isn't it? For Hota Studio themselves, they've already had a bad reputation to begin with by releasing a game TOF, and a lot of players did not enjoy it because it's like a bad copy of Genshin Impact. And then they continuously do what players dislike. it makes no sense to me for them to get all this backlash and still decide to use generative AI on their game. So I do believe like in the future, in 1.1 or 1.2, they're gonna be replacing those cutscenes with actual human animation. But even if they don't do that, I do find it weird like everybody are hating Kota Studio or NTE as if they are making their whole game based on AI. Because clearly, like all the action-packed animations, the characters' gameplay, how these characters work, obviously those aren't AI, those are actual creativity by the team themselves. And people are currently hating on the game as if they are making the whole game with AI. I actually don't think that is fair as well. And this person responds 20 million USD, and the NTE team consists of 200 employees, but the total workforce is 400. The other half of the staff is assigned as needed. Obviously, there's like a lot of employees here, and you have to do the math yourself with the 20 million count and how long did it take for NTE to be produced. So just count it as a monthly salary, I guess. That is up to you. This person said that it's not about the use of AI, it's about the fact that they lied to us. They lied saying a month ago our game would never use AI. At that point, you can lie about everything. No wonder the game released faster than his competitors. If you use AI, your work then becomes easy to release. I think I know what the competitors they are talking right now. Like, so we have games like Ananta coming and also Silver Palace. Two open world games that is surrounding like modern or old London in Silver Palace that is. So these are the two competitors that they are talking about here. And Ananta, let's say Ananta would come out. A game that looks much more polished, much more expressive. In my opinion, I find Ananta more expressive. If those games were to come out, right, and they were to announce that they are actually using AI through the concept process or a little bit of the animations in cutscenes, right? If they were to say that, will I play the game? Yeah, I play the game for sure. Because I do think like the game is a bit more polished, and that is one of the reasons why I'm not playing NTE, because I am expecting Ananta to actually do much better in terms of gameplay. I have a lot of expectations here, but if they were to use AI, will I still play the game? Yeah, I will. And let me question you a little bit. Like, what if Wuthering Waves were to announce that they have used AI themselves in the process of their game making? I think it's easy for people to say these things to NTEs because they have not committed that much time yet. And I think there's like a bunch of hypocrisy going here as well. Like, what if current games that you have played right now, Genshin Impact, Zenless Zero, to announce that they have used AI, would you stop playing the game? I don't think you will. I think you will just accept it at the end of the day. As a matter of fact, the whole community is surrounded with AI. We have so much AI being posted around in subreddits. Like if I were to just
later,
I know there's like a famous animation going on right now. If you were to just type Phoebe mains, for example, or Hiyuki mains, that's like already Bilibili is very famous with their AI posting for some reason. But if you search, like, there's already a chibi animation of Bilibili Phoebe running around, like something like that. That is not even something what human would think of, but it just came out. Like every time I see AI artwork being posted around, it's not just Wuthering Waves, by the way. It's Arknights Enfield. It's a lot more. Like, look, it's flooded, dude. It's flooded with chibi Phoebe. Like, you see a lot of memes being posted around with Phoebe as well. Not just these chibi ones. There's like memes of her smoking. I'll probably put it on the picture here if you don't know. But the community is very accepting with AI. There's an 18-minute generative AI anime short film in the theater in Neverness to Everness. Now, this is another AI generated film in Neverness to Everness. Like, they have like a film because the game can do everything. Like, you can chill in the game, you can have like an actual life in the game, I suppose. And this is one of their animations they have produced through using generative AI. Like, that is clearly AI. The movement right there is very scuffed, and they're all like the head banging together with like unsynced guitar plays. Like, dude, I would rather watch K-On for the 50th time. Okay, like K-On have done much better camera movement and everything with this guitar play. I mean, clearly you can tell by now that an 18-minute generative AI animated short film, like, it's obviously a lot of generative AI being added into this game. You can't deny that. This whole thing is a lot, you know, like, but at the end of the day, this is not the game as well. Like, it's just some bonus thing, like, oh, you have a theater in your game. I find it hard to criticize when it's not actually the game itself as well, because when you get out of the game, you can do like a bunch of fun stuff. Like, I think the gameplay in NTE is fun. And there's this one character that their skill is like they can defy gravity, and I find this so interesting. Like, look, the way she can move, right? She can go to the wall, defy gravity, and then you just it actually defies gravity. Like she walk on the wall, unlike any other characters, basically. So the way she moves is very different as well. They changed that whole thing. You think that is AI? Of course not. That is their actual creativity put into the game. This is why I find it difficult to just hate on NTE as a game, but their AI usage is a lot, and maybe I could just say that it is quite lazy for them to just cut corners, basically, right? When it comes to their cutscenes, when it comes to their delivery on the bonus animations in their in-game theater animations. Now, there's this person say that I'm not gonna believe everything like John Siemens audience saying, right? The poor optimization and ugly UI already was bad enough, but seeing how much crap there is on the game, I doubt they'll reach 1 year anniversary unless they change a lot of things and take away all the AI stuff. I do again think that the AI stuff will be taken away in the near future, but that's just me coping. There is not a single announcement being made of that just yet, especially when both China and Japan is very accepting of AI, right? So it's possible they could even just skip and don't care about the global at all. Now, I want to mention that the port optimization is completely a lie. And I say this because it's not because I play the game, but I know people that play the game, and people in my group are saying that the optimization in NTE is even way better than Wuthering Waves, that they can actually be played in a low-end PC. Meanwhile, Wuthering Waves, even throughout the whole 2 years, still is somewhat stuttering here and there still. But NTE actually works fine in a low-end PC. I think that is amazing work. And here's comes to mind. For me, like, did they sacrifice the animation? Did they sacrifice all of that cutscenes to deliver the best optimization possible? To allow their team to skip all the theater stuff as well, just put on some generative AI, and so that they can work on something that is more important, to prioritize the game optimization. To me, I don't think that is something you should overlook. Yes, they use AI, but the game is running smoothly on both mobile and PC. But they use AI, you decide to just stop playing the game. I do find it kind of baffling. Because if you take your time and think it through, would you actually stop playing the game just because of AI? Again, I say this already, but I do think it's the reason why people can stop playing by just giving an excuse that the game uses AI is because they haven't played long enough. It's because they haven't committed that much time. It's because they haven't spent that much money in the game, or none at all. It's easy for them to quit. And it's at the end of the day, it's a gacha game, and that more gacha games are gonna come out. Like NTE, bro, you're gonna get replaced anyway, sooner or later. So I'm just gonna quit, okay? I think it's easy to quit NTE. Now, I do think like I'm giving my takes here a bit too long for the video already. Like I could actually make a whole video just speaking about the whole AI situation and stuff. I'll give you my takes here and now. Like, I don't think NTE is giving a fair treatment here as well. But if your moral is so high up there that you think that a game using AI is enough for you to quit the game, I completely respect that choice as well, because especially as an artist myself, I respect the hell out of people that doesn't play AI games. I also find it very difficult for you to avoid coming into the future, and that you will just come off as a hypocrite if you were to continuously play other games that uses AI, but you have committed so much time in the game already. Okay, but if you're just an audience that just don't know how to feel about this game, but you're also enjoying the game, but people are saying do not enjoy this game because it has AI. Dude, if you enjoy the game, I'll tell you this, just play the game, okay? Just play the game. I think it's fine. I don't think it's fair for people to take the enjoyment out of people's life. Like if they enjoy the game, allow them, okay? And hopefully they will treat you the same way as well. Now, another John Siemens tweet, Maggie Ellis, a voice actor for Neverness to Everness, has released statement addressing the game's generative AI. This is what I'm saying, like artists, voice actors, if they had known, I don't think they would actually happily accepting of AI. I know I wouldn't, okay? I recently found out that a game I worked on has been using AI and has been dishonest about it. I want to be clear that I do not support generative AI in any creative field, including voiceover, art, writing, and music. If this is not addressed and removed, I will not be continuing my work with this team. Look, artists have an ego. Voice actors have egos. This is something that they do for their lives. You're not expecting that people are just gonna fully accept AI as a whole, right? I mean, like, they have worked on this industry for years, and because a multi-billionaire company decided to, we're just gonna use AI to fasten up the process, and people are just gonna be okay with it? Of course not. They should expect that this would happen, actually. Of course, people are gonna be angry about it. This is people's livelihood at the end of the day. But look, I have given my takes enough for this NTE topic. Alright, I'm not gonna talk about it anymore, and I'm gonna go ahead and move to a different topic. But let me know what you think in the comments below. I would love to know, I would love to hear about it, okay? Just please be civilized. Zenless Zone Zero is getting a bunch of hate. I wonder why. So recently they have like a trailer or a teaser or something, and they teased this one character in that trailer. And the character that we're talking about here is Sunbringer. This is what the character looks like right now. Don't worry about the pink hair character, but let's talk about the Sunbringer right now first. As you can see, a certain feature from this character is suspended. A bit too much, I would say. And I do think it's kind of fair for players to get mad about this when it looks like the character that you're excited for is looking a little bit like a complete different character, and they are going full on gooning mode here. So there's like a bunch of fan edits being made, like making the boobs a bit bigger, and a lot of fan art being made as well. Like, this is what you could have had. I thought pulling Sunbringer would feel like this. Man, she does look pretty cool before. And it's kind of a shame. Like, there's a lot of fan work being made into this. Like, unique, interesting, huge aura fitting for a Void Hunter. Exactly. I do think that the one before has like aura in it, and now it has the same design as Yishuan, with the cleavage being opened up like that. If I may say, it looks a bit too bland now. And honestly, I am kind of disappointed because I thought the character looks kind of cool. Because it's the talk of the town currently, Sunbringer right now, the coolest Sunbringer. A lot of people do like the design from before, and I hope they try to make a change out of it. And as you can see, there's more posts going on around saying that what could have been. Again, I really don't think they should have changed Sunbringer's design into some gooner character. Again, like they've done this so many times for their characters that the designs were better off with before. And let me show you one of them as well. But this one right here is not exactly confirmed yet. You see the pink hair character right there? You see the pink hair character right there? I don't know for sure. Is it Ramiel? Because this is what the character looks like right now. Completely different hairstyle. I think that's fine. Complete hairstyle, it doesn't matter. He has the same elf feature, like the elf ear. But again, with the bigger badongas over there, like it's all over the place. And before this, I mean, I guess she still have some big ones, but it's fully covered, right? The design looks very different as well, but people like this design more, and then they switch it up to something that is goonable. And I think to myself, like, is this really the direction that we're going for with Xenozone Zero? Because it's not like they're terrible, they're bad at making their characters design, but they're just fully accepting that their audience is filled with a lot of people that just want to goon in their game, despite they have like a really good action-packed game. Like, they actually have a really good gameplay in the game, but instead we're relying more on goon, and I do think it's kind of pathetic, to be honest. Not everything needs to be goon. I think a lot of players do like cool looking characters as well. It's not all about goon. That's not what all players want. You do realize that you have players that just like your game, right? I think that needs to be clear, and I do hope that the devs decide to switch back to the old design as well for Sunbringer, that is, because I do think it's a bit too late for Ramiel to have her design to be changed. And I say that because of this Reddit post right here, how to productively express your feedback, a PSA. And they're saying that you should just click on this part right here, more, and click to the feedbacks, and just let the devs know themselves that you have suggestions to just switch Sunbringer's design back to her old design. And it's a lot more cooler. It's not just about goon, and just make her look cool and continuously aura farming, I guess. Wuthering Waves made some small updates that nobody talked about. Did they change this because of that one guy? Which guy? Who's the person that made this mistake? That used all their assets, their in-game currencies to buy Lustrous Tide, which is the pools for the standard banner. And so they put a cap every time you want to buy standard pools through using asteroids. I hope they do the same for Koros as well, because Koros are basically limited currencies as well. So I hope they do the same thing. But as of now, it looks like if you want to buy your pool currencies, they will put a cap to it for standard ones. I don't know if it's the same for limited ones, but they will put a cap to it to just 10. I think that's a smart choice. I think like every single gacha game should do this, because people tend to make this quick mistake. They were too rushed. Like they were doing their pooling sessions and they just buy the pool currencies right away without even thinking, and they buy standard pools instead. So I hope that more gacha games try to learn from this. It's actually a smart choice. So this one is a bit funny, right? So not too long ago, there's this whole drama surrounding Saint Tontas when it comes to Zani, how he plays Zani, and a lot of players decide to say like, I'm gonna prove it to you that Zani is not that bad of a character, and you just need to know how to play her well. And some players decide to just make some showcase video, but in the long run, it started becoming less and less about the drama, and it's just about making the character more viral. That's about it, and just continuously make more playthroughs surrounding the characters, and it's nice. It's really fun. So because the whole Zani showcase got so viral, Wuthering Waves made a post of this DJ Kim guy, David Johnson Kim, that he was able to finish the whole Zani playthrough by just being blindfolded. It is crazy. He made a good showcase as well. It's amazing, right? And everybody was impressed. Even Wuthering Waves decided to post it in their account. But the community hates Saint so much more than they love the game. That's all I'm gonna say. They decide to make it about Saint Tontas again, when it's clearly not. I don't think Wuthering Waves is that petty to just say that, to give a middle finger to Saint Tontas just by posting this showcase, because that is embarrassing PR move, okay? That is very petty, and a lot of players won't like that in the long run. I don't think this is about Saint. I think it's because they are just that impressed with David Johnson Kim here, with his playthrough, so they decide to post it on their website. But Twitter had to make it about Saint Tontas. It is so unfortunate where this is going for. Like, Wuthering Waves was going in the right direction for a moment. We are making showcase video, and it was fun. It was really enjoyable to watch, and everybody was making it. All this very good showcaser that is professional at using Zani, and it was about making a terribly bad design character like Zani is such an incomplete character, okay? And I don't mean her physical design. I think her physical design is perfect. It's nice. Everybody likes that. But the way she plays is very incomplete in a way. But to make a character like that go through the process of beating an endgame content, that is what's special about this showcase. It's not about saying you win my good grace for a day for inadvertently clowning on one of this game's worst content creators. It wasn't about him. It wasn't supposed to be about him. They repost, and DJ Kim also didn't make it about Saint. They were following the trend, and it was just about that. But Twitter really is a place that is filled with hate. I completely understand. When I step into Twitter, I know what I got myself into. Moving on to the next topic, we want to talk about the gacha revenue. Again, it's a gacha revenue, and it's not even accurate at all, right? But this is all just gonna be fun and games. We're not gonna take it too seriously. None of you should. It's never ever going to be accurate enough for you to take this as a factual statement. Just letting you guys know that before we get started. But already we can see Honkai Star Rail and Genshin Impact is being at the top. But first, let's get into the bottom, alright? And now, let's start off with Neverness to Everness, NTE. I cannot believe that they're able to accumulate about $6 million already. It hasn't even been a month. The game just came out, and we already fully aware that there is no 50-50 in the gacha. Now, the reason why I'm very supportive of this is because this could be the new thing, This could actually be the new thing that gacha games should do. Maybe future games like Silver Palace and Ananta can learn from this, that you don't need 50-50s. Hell, you don't even need to lock your character skin in paywall, right? Because Neverness to Everness, I believe that you can buy the skins to just using in-game currencies. So imagine with the whole AI thing as well, they have clearly going to be making enough money to earn back the budget that they used to make the game, right? When you think about it, they should be able to get back their money despite the backlash that they gain currently. So on one hand, I do support the game, but on the other, I don't really feel too bad about it anymore. but yeah, I do support that the game that has no gacha in it, that doesn't prioritize on gacha, gets the bag, right? Basically, so that in the future we can 100% maybe fully remove 50-50 in every single gacha games that are coming. Let's move on to something else. Zenless Zone Zero. Wow, just wow! 7 million? I guess people don't like Sisha. I guess people don't like the fully animated lizard girl, huh? Because when I saw her cutscene, I fully believe yeah, she's gonna be wife, for sure. She's gonna be one of those characters that people will like, because she's very expressive. And isn't the character before her is Nangong Yu, the idol character, where she's gonna be very strong and replace quite a few characters herself? A support unit and another support attack unit. So it's weird to me, these meta characters did not even sell. And they're also Gunner bait as well. It could be because the audience weren't interested in those characters, but it could also be that they are more interested in characters like Promea S-Rank Billy, because S-Rank Billy is kind of special himself with the new sprint animation, like alternative sprint, that he's going to be having in combats where he just rode the motorcycle. I think that's pretty cool. And the other character is Promea, which I will be pulling for. I don't think I'll be pulling for Billy at that point, but Promea does catch my eye a little bit because she looks like Toka from Tokyo Go. I do think that's kind of cool, I guess. So yeah, I'll be pulling for that. So yeah, I do think maybe people are more interested in the newer characters rather than the current characters, which is Sisha and Nagongyu, and that's why the revenue drops, I suppose. And Wuthering Waves. Now, Wuthering Waves just came out with Hiyuki, right? But to be able to gain this much with Skip Rika, I think that's a good move. I think that's actually pretty good. Yes, the revenue is a bit lower than usual, but it is Skip Rika, so what are you gonna do? Like, it's meant to be low, so that's kind of impressive still. But I'm actually more surprised with Arknights Enfield with Zhuangfang Yi. Zhuangfang Yi is the equivalent to Sentinels, Archons in Wuthering Waves and Genshin Impact, right? But for her to get this much only is very surprising. Yes, I know that the banner is still ongoing and they still have time, but they did release Zhuangfang Yi on the mid of March, so supposedly she did get some time for them to, I don't know, gain some money here and there first. But who knows, maybe there's not enough time for them to accumulate Zhuangfang Yi's revenue, and this is mostly just gonna be rosy, and Zhuangfang Yi's full revenue will come and it will actually be mind blown, right? It's possible for it to be that. Now let's move on to Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail. I don't know what's going on with Honkai Star Rail. I genuinely don't know. I must be the only one that's not playing the game. But Honkai Star Rail did so well, incredibly well. Honestly, I'm just happy for them. I'm glad that the game was kept alive. You know, it's actually doing so much better than I thought. It's doing better than most of these gacha games. So who knows? They must be doing something right. That is including Genshin Impact. They must be doing something right. I don't know how, but then again, it's Genshin Impact. Genshin Impact has never fell off. It has always remained in a consistent amount. They have never ever once fell off. Maybe they have, like in such a bad dry patch, and that's fine. They meant to fell off during dry patch, just like any other games. Any other games would go below 10 mil actually. But Genshin Impact, there's something about this game. They always, like every single time there's like new characters, always go above my expectations. And good for them, you know, like no hate towards Genshin Impact at all, but just good for them to be able to remain so consistent throughout the whole years, throughout 7 years. I think we're coming to 7 years in Genshin Impact now, so congrats. But honestly, that's about all I want to talk about when it comes to like this drama, important stuff to be informed in the gacha space. What's left now is just how Chisa pullers be feeling. I do think that Chisa is going to be exactly like Bitcoin, basically. The stock is rising for sure. Like right now, people are wanting Chisa even more. They just realize, like, yeah, Chisa works kind of similarly to Shorekeeper in a way, because Chisa have like a lot of team to be played around with Cartethyia and Chakona, with Zani and Phoebe to replace Rover so that Rover can be in a different team. So she works kind of well if you were to play like in the Matrix endgame mode. Players are finally thinking that Chisa's revenue might be going up really high after this. And the comment right here said they should add +1 Chisa energy to Chisa in Matrix game. I completely 100% agree. Like, why? It's not just Chisa as well, it's Rover as well, you know. Rover also need to have like +3 energy or something because of the different elements Rover has. And isn't that the point of having echo loadouts, to be able to play Rover in many different elements? That should be like one of the reasons. But yeah, who knows, we'll see what the future of Matrix game mode will be. Something funny happened to a certain someone, just a happy accident. Where Aemeath here looks like she's having a little bit of something. And it should not just that, I feel like I have to blur this part. Actually, I might have to blur this part. I might have to fully blur this part, this area right here, because it looks like even her skirt looks like it's moving upwards. Am I seeing that clearly? I don't know. It could just be clipping issues, but the comment is something else. Just like her dad. And there's like more edits going a bit too far. And that's about ended for our gacha recap for the first time in a while. I haven't done this for months, and I know that it's not exactly like a normal gacha recap where I actually talk about many other games, and here I mostly talk about Neverness to Everness, Wuthering Waves, Zenless Zone Zero. I mostly talk about mainstream game this time around. I can't bring myself to look into so much research on many different games, on what's actually happening in the gacha space. So I do hope that this video satisfies you enough. And if you watched till the end of the video, I hope you like and subscribe to the channel because you clearly enjoy it. I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.